little cousin. She been gay my whole life. I talked to her yesterday. This bitch 9 months pregnant. That's not even the most Casagram part of the story. Bro, after we found out this bitch was pregnant, her fucking girlfriend gonna post a picture on Facebook of her kissing my cousin's stomach. Like, Aisha, we know that's not your baby. My grandma was like, well, how you know they didn't plan it? Because both these bitches work at Dollar General. That's how I know. They didn't plan shit. Look, man, my grandma's retired, so all she does is get high and chill. So she was like, well, how you know they didn't do like VHS or IBF or in vitro or something? I was like, look, grandma, I was like, she had a procedure done. It was D, I, C, and K. Like, that's the shit she had done. I hope all you fathers out there had a good Father's Day last weekend. I like Father's Day. It's the one day you're guaranteed to get a blowjob without having to ask. Bob, he raised his leader. My man, Bob. So Father's Day was cool. I got up early. I called my dad, and I was like, hey, happy Father's Day. He was like, oh, man, thank you. I was like, look, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to take you out to eat, so get ready. He was like, cool. I was like, I'm going to be there in an hour. Make sure you're ready. He's like, all right, I'm going to get ready. I hung up my phone. I turned that motherfucker off. Let his ass sit there all day and wonder what the fuck happened like I used to. Bro, the next day, I had 36 missed calls and 11 voicemails. I called his mother. He was mad as fuck when I called him back. He's like, I thought you were going to come pick me up yesterday. I was like, man, you don't even know what happened yesterday. He's like, tell me. I was like, look, you ain't even going to believe it. I was like, I was on my way to pick you up, right? And then my boss called me, and she was like, hey, I know it's Father's Day, but there's shit going on at work. I'm out of town. I need you to go over there. So I was like, cool, I'm going to go over there and handle it. I hung up with her, went to call you back. My phone died. I didn't bring no charger because I wasn't planning on being out all night. I was just going to come pick you up, take you out, and go home. He's like, man, that sounds like some bullshit. I was like, I know. It's tough having kids being an adult though, man. You know what I mean? Like, cause you gotta be a parent to understand it's only cool to have kids sometimes. You know what I mean? And like, if you're not a parent, you don't understand that. Like, I'll kill anybody for any one of my kids, but I can't stand these motherfuckers. Like, they get on my fucking nerves, you know what I mean? But there is some cool parts to it, like, when your kid goes to school and they come home because they've learned some shit, like, that's pretty cool, especially if it's some shit you already know and they want to talk about it. Like, my daughter came home the other day and she was like, Dad, you ever heard of the Bermuda Triangle? Yep. She was like, it's crazy, huh? I was like, kinda. I was like, it's been a long time though, so why don't you tell me about it? She was like, all right. She's like, the Bermuda Triangle is the area of water off of Bermuda. I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, and when you get in there, you don't get no cell phone signal or Wi-Fi. Like, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bitch, that's what you're worried about? Like, not having no cell, like, why the fuck are you not worried about UFOs abducting you? Or fucking ghost ships? Or the goddamn Kraken coming out of the bottom of the ocean and swallowing you? Like, why are you not concerned about the 5 planes that disappeared in 1949? Like, bitch, this is the shit I'm worried about. And I must have had the fucking stupid look on my face because she was like, that's crazy, huh? And I was like, fucking wild. Cell phone signals, bitch, get the fuck out of here. But hey, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I was a kid, the Bermuda Triangle, I thought that shit was gonna be a problem in my life for real. That and fucking quicksand. Like, I don't even know why, but I used to fucking sit up in the middle of the night and be like fucking sad, like, fuck, I don't want to disappear in the Bermuda Triangle. Like, knowing damn well my parents couldn't afford a fucking trip to Bermuda. Look, bro, in the 90s, there were 3 classes of people. You had your Dr. Pepper drinkers, your Mr. Pibb drinkers, and your fucking Dr. Thunders, right? Bro, I lived in the Mr. Pibb world, and if there's one thing I know for sure is we weren't taking no fucking island vacations. And if we were, they weren't taking the punk-ass kids with them. It was the fucking 90s. You leave them at home by themselves. I left my kid at home the other day to go to Circle K. The cross the street neighbor's like, hey, I think you left your kid at home. Bitch, I know. The fucking dog's there. She gonna be all right. Bro, I can't stand being an adult sometimes. Like, I wish I could go back to like my teenage years, right? Like I was fucking cool ass teenager. Like when I was in high school, that shit was tight. We used to do all kinds of cool shit because we weren't no fucking punk ass kids. We weren't soft like these kids are now. Like we would do cool shit, right? So I remember my sophomore year, we got an exchange student at my high school, and his name was Andre. It was spelled Andre, but it was fucking pronounced Andre. Like he was cool as fuck though. The people he stayed with were goofy as a motherfucker, but they were in the Dr. Pepper level, so you know what I mean? They were able to take care of him. But this guy was cool though. Andre, well, he was a cool motherfucker. Like he was down for whatever. He was like, I think he was like from Turkey or some shit, but he was down for whatever. Like this fool would come and hang out with us. We would sneak him out of the house and take him to parties and shit. He would like smoke weed with us, hang out at Taco Bell all night with us and shit. Like he was a cool motherfucker. He got super addicted to Mr. Pibb though. Like the shit was wild, right? But we'd sneak him out and go to parties and shit, and then like when you had a foreign exchange student, I don't know how they do it now, but back then they used to send somebody from like a company to come check on the kid, right? They would send them so often to make sure like the kid wasn't on drugs or like that he had a place to sleep, clean clothes and shit like that. They would do a checkup and interview him. So, bro, this motherfucker got sent back his first interview. Bro, he went back to fucking Turkey overweight, addicted to Taco Bell, Mr. Pibb, weed. Like he told the caseworker he didn't even want to finish high school, he was just gonna get his fucking GED. Like I could, you know what I mean? It took me in the city of Casa Grande less than 6 weeks to ruin this motherfucker. Bro, if I was in high school now, it'd take me a couple of days to ruin one of these punk ass kids now. These motherfuckers are soft. Like, and that shit, it makes me mad. Like, kids are soft now because they don't have to be anything else. Like, everything is done for them. Like, everything is just at their phones. They don't have to, like, they don't have to be able to hustle. They don't have to know how to talk to girls. They don't have to do shit. Like, I was at my aunt's house the other day, and my cousin ordered some fucking weed off his phone and had this shit delivered to him. Not by a drug dealer. It was some fucking goofy ass fucking white dude that pulls up. He's like, hey man, are you fucking 8643? And fucking sells him weed. Like bro, when I was younger and smoking weed, I had to walk like 2.5 miles down a fucking bunch of alleys to this shady ass Mexican dude's house. And to be honest, it wasn't even a house. It was in the back of a house. It was like a shed that he cut a hole in and fucking put a window unit in. Like that was it. And he was scary as fuck. He had like clown tattoos on his face. And not like actual tattoos of fucking clowns, you know what I mean? He had like the diamond tattoo and like the mouth shit. Like, and he was fucking like, you know what kind of person sells weed to a 13-year-old kid? The kind with fucking clown face tattoos. Like, bro, that motherfucker he didn't give a fuck. If a 13-year-old kid came up to me right now and was like, hey, buy me some weed, I would slap the shit out of them and steal their money. Like, I am not gonna buy your weed, get the fuck out of my face. You know what I mean? It's crazy, like, and now, like, they start smoking, and this shit's at 22, 23, 24%. When I was younger, we didn't even know what the fuck the percentage was. We had 3 types of weed. We had green weed, fucking Mexican dirt weed, and then we had this bullshit called Kind Bud. You motherfuckers remember Kind Bud? They're like, oh, it's from Cali, bro, it's Kind Bud. It's like Fluffy Nug, bro, that shit was nothing. And these motherfuckers, like, I feel like if you never broke up a nugget of weed and 137 seeds dropped out, you shouldn't even be allowed to smoke weed. There's like rites of passages and stuff. But the coldest part now, though, is like, none of these little motherfuckers have any game, right? Like, I asked one of my supervisors, I was like, hey, how do you spit to girls now? And he was like, it's like through Snapchat and fucking Instagram. It's like, we just send him a DM. I'm like, the fuck? Like, that's crazy to me that you can get laid now because, like, the content you put on TikTok or, like, fucking Instagram and shit like that. Oh, he's got 8,000 followers. Cool. Like, fuck this dude. Like, that shit is crazy. When I was younger, it was a fucking hustle for reals. Like, it was a dance to get laid, you know what I mean? And everybody knew what the fuck was going on. It wasn't like a secret, you know what I mean? Like, it was a fucking dance for real, though, and you had to hustle people. Like, so when I was younger, I saw a show called Married with Children. And I fell in love with fucking Kelly Bundy, and ever since that shit, I was fucking shooting for white girls, you know what I mean? Like, that was my shit. So I remember one of the coldest hustles I ever did, like, and I'll never forget it, you know what I mean? Like, I wrote this girl a song, because back in the day when I was a kid, or like, when I say kid, I'm talking like teenage years, high school, but like, girls would like when you'd write them letters, some motherfuckers would write poems and shit, some dudes would like write raps and sing to them and shit, so, man, I came up with the coldest hustle, and I remember I told her, I was like, hey, I wrote you a song, and she was like, for reals? I was like, yeah. She's like, sing it to me. I was like, no. And she was like, how the fuck you gonna, she's like, how you gonna write me a song and you ain't gonna sing it? I was like, bitch, you can read the lyrics and know how I feel. And she was mad as fuck. She was like, no. She's like, you're gonna have to sing the song for me. And I was like, all right, bitch, I'm gonna sing it for you, but you better not laugh at me because I'm not good at singing. And I wrote her the coldest fucking song, DT original, that you'll ever hear. And I remember that shit too, every lyric, because that shit worked and I got some. It was crazy. You guys want me to sing it? All right, I'm gonna sing it. Let's go. I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. Bro, I hit her with it. And I know this bitch ain't never heard the song because I've been to her house and she had pictures in her house of like Dale Earnhardt, fucking, you know what I mean, John Wayne. Her dad had a Confederate flag in the house, you know what I mean? Like, I know this bitch ain't never heard the song. And she was quiet, so I thought that she hung up on me. But she was silent and she was like, oh my God. She was like, that was amazing. She was like, that could be like an actual song. And I was like, look, I don't know about all that. All I know is that that's just how I feel when I think about you. Thank you guys, I'm DT.